How's it going, everyone? I'm Big Jim. Welcome to Big Jim's Kitchen. This channel is dedicated to showing you how to cook different recipes I've learned cook throughout the years. Some easy, some not so easy, some healthy, some not so healthy. Today's recipe, however, is going to be really healthy. Today is going to be, having already seen this thumbnail, is going to be a low-carb chicken and vegetable soup. So let's go ahead and get with the ingredients. We're going to go ahead and do a head of cabbage, some green onions, some cauliflower, some cilantro, love the cilantro, some onions, some boneless, skinless chicken breasts, some beef stock, along with some chicken bouillon, and last but not least, some faux cubes. Now, you may be wondering why you're putting in faux cubes? Because faux, or I think it's actually pronounced pho, is delicious. So, let's get cooking. All right, to start with, I'm gonna go ahead and cut up a head of cabbage. Remove some of the outer layers first. That looks about good. Go ahead and take your knife and chop off the bottom part here. Discard. Now what I like to do is I like to go ahead and cut this thing into quarters. So one cut right down the middle. Another cut like so. And then go ahead and discard this bottom part here where the stem was mostly at by doing a bit of a diagonal cut right there. Discard. Then I'm going to cut this down into roughly 3 different pieces, or 4 or more depending on how big your cabbage is. Then cutting into nice small pieces. Break them up a little bit as you put them into the pot. And then go ahead and do that for the other 3 pieces that you have. Next up, we have the cilantro. Basically, super easy. Just cut this into small pieces. Might want to rinse it off first if you think it might have some pesticides on it, but I think they do a good job of cleaning those off for the most part. Then go ahead and add this to the pot. Now we're going to go ahead and take care of this cauliflower head. Do a nice cut down the middle there and just chop it up however you want. Now I'll go ahead and add this all to the pot. Now, if you notice that the pot is starting to get a little bit bulky with the vegetables, do remember that a lot of this stuff will reduce, so it will shrink what's in the pot as it cooks, for the most part. Next up, we got the white onions. Nothing too simple about this, just go ahead and cut them up like you normally would. Break them up a little bit as you toss them in here, and then just do the same thing for the rest of them. And now we got the green onions. One thing I like to do with green onions is I like to do the very ends of them. Get rid of this, and then discard this. Go ahead and use the rest of this and cut away. Nice small pieces. And add these to the pot. Now you may have noticed that stuff isn't really mixed in very well. So go ahead now and start tossing it a bit. A little bit of mix up going. Next up, we got the chicken. This I'm just going to cut into small pieces. Normally I like to do this with some gloves on so I don't get my hand too dirty, but I forgot to do it. Now that we've finished cutting up the chicken and adding it to the pot, go ahead and season it up, shall we? Start off with some of this chicken flavored bouillon. Do as much as you like. Next up, some of these pho cubes. Gotta make sure I say that correctly, otherwise the YouTube algorithm might think I was saying something else. With 3 of these cubes, these are pretty salty. Now, go ahead and splash it with some beef broth. Now, let's go ahead and put this on the stove and start cooking it. But also, gonna add some water in here just so you can get it just a little bit up to the point where you can see it, because the more water you have in here, it's gonna fill you up faster when you're eating it. So let's go ahead and move this over. Now that we've got it on the stove, let's go ahead and turn it on. While this thing's warming up, go ahead and add some water. You know what? I lied. I want to make this a bit more soupy than just above the food line. Now that you've got everything in here and it's starting to cook, you're going to want to give it a good stirring. Make sure the spoon that you use is nice and strong, because this is going to be some relatively heavy stuff. So now, you are just going to be playing the waiting game. Let this stuff come to a boil, stir it every so often, and basically just turn it off when it's done. Alright, now let's go ahead and give this soup one final stir, because it looks like it's about done. Nice and piping hot. So, let's go ahead and turn the heat off. Now the soup is sufficiently cooled down, let's go ahead and scoop us up a small bowlful and give it a try. Now, time for the taste test. But before I do that, remember to like and subscribe. So, here's the moment of truth. The pho flavor is not overpowering, but it's there and it is so good. So this would almost make a really good low-carb pho dish if you're so inclined, if you don't want the noodles. Like I said, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.